Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Tuesday, the 15th of September 2020, and the time is 10:01 here in the UK. You're looking at a US oil chart. Let's go up to an AED-JPY chart. Don't need to look at US oil. Let's just dive right into the analysis. So first things first, let's cover some trades that were triggered last week that I'm sure many of you are still in. And also, let's just take a really quick look at the calendar, see what's coming up. Okay, so we have nothing on Monday, which was yesterday, so that's fine. Nothing today, but tomorrow we have some stuff happening. But we'll cover tomorrow. Nothing much for today news-wise, so we can just get rid of the news. Let's dive into the actual analysis. AED-JPY, this position, this was a long trade taken on the 8-hour chart. It's been moving sideways for a bit, but there's no sense in not holding on to this one. You may as well just hold on to it. It looks like it's making another move up, so yeah, just hold on to it. Similar thing with AUD New Zealand, although this one was on the daily chart. It pulled back down on Monday. Today it looks like it pushed up again, came back down. I'm not even sure if anyone's still in this one, but if you are still in this one, again, you may as well hold on. I know it fell back a little bit and that sucks, but at this point, it doesn't really make much sense to close out the trade. CAD JPY, this was another 8-hour chart long trade. Again, it spent quite some time going up. Now it's fallen back down. This one's a bit different. Because this one only went up over the course of 2 candles and then spent the rest of its time moving down, I'd be way more tempted to close this one out. But it has fallen back to near the support area, and it is pushing up a little bit now. So could hold on to it. And finally, USD/CHF. This one is the big performer from last. Well, there was a bunch of good trades last week. This one is the best one that was left open over the weekend. This one's going really, really well. It was a 12-hour/daily chart, even an 8-hour chart short, just depends where you entered it. This is a really good trade. It's really performing well. It's very close to target. Honestly, I think most of you have probably closed this one out already, but if you haven't, you may as well hold on. Let it push down that little bit further to your target. So that wraps it up for currently open positions. A few have retraced a little bit, but it happens. What can you do? May as well hold on to them. I don't see any reason to consider closing out unless it's CAD JPY. CAD JPY, that one I'm just not as confident with. But the others look quite good. Right, so let's talk about, let's remove this. Euro JPY, Euro USD. I did some forum analysis yesterday on these two. With these two, we're still just waiting for it to push to the top of the range. So it looks like it's going to take its time to do so, but we want it to push to the top of the range. That way we can trade a short from the top of this range. We want to go short from the top, so we just need it to push up to the top. Both Euro USD and Euro JPY. That's what we're looking for. GBP AUD, this one's off. GBP New Zealand, kind of off. Right, so let's look for some new setups. Right off the bat, we have AUD CAD approaching a pretty strong resistance area. Price has bounced twice from this resistance area here and here. It's a pretty solid resistance area. I would definitely be tempted to go in short once it gets further into this resistance area. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on AUD CAD. AUD USD, I'll just keep it there. AUD/USD, there's not a lot going on. It's in between support resistance right now, so there's not much I would do there. All right, Euro AUD. This isn't great, but it is kind of in a range on the 6-hour chart. But honestly, I'm not going to trade anything there. It's not a clean range. It's just something I saw. I thought I'd mention it, but yeah, I'm not going to trade there, guys. See, when you see something like this, right? These kind of compact candles that have not exactly matching bodies, but very, very similar bodies. If you drop down to like the 1-hour chart, a lot of the times you're going to see a range there. Now, in this specific case, or maybe the 4-hour, we're not seeing a range, not yet anyway, but it's a sign that there's a potential range. So where is the potential range? You could see that we have the bottom boundary, the top boundary, and the bottom one is just about to get its second bounce. So this could very well turn into a range. It's not a range yet though, so let's just move on. GBP CAD, I know some of you are long on this already, as you are on GBP USD. Now, I have this pretty kind of weak resistance area here that I honestly wouldn't be too concerned about. This this support resistance area that I have here. Don't worry too much about this one. It's a very, very weak one. But yeah, I know some of you are long on GBP USD. It was entered yesterday. I think I just read an email from Sue. I didn't get a chance to respond, Sue, because I just read it before I started the analysis, but you said that you were long on GBP USD, is that correct? And I know Tommy is long on GBP USD also. This is a pretty solid setup. It's a solid setup for a few reasons. Number one, it's I'll move this back down to where it was. It's on a pretty decent support area, but it also coincides with the 200 moving average. So this is pretty strong support all in all. The biggest concern I have with this setup here is that there is, even though this is a weak resistance area that I have up here, there is certainly resistance in the way of your ultimate target, which should be, you know, at least 2R. So there is resistance in the way. It could stall on its way up, but overall, I do think it is a pretty strong setup. I'm just going to replace this with a green line because it's not a strong resistance area. So I want to, just to make things clearer for you guys, I'll mark it as a green line, which usually signifies a weaker resistance area. But yeah, for those of you who are long, just hold on to this one. It makes complete sense. It's a good setup. Sue, am I correct in saying that you were long on that one? Did I read that? Well, I didn't really read it. I just kind of like passed the email super quick because it was just before doing the webinar, so I didn't want to spend too much time looking at my emails. I'm not even sure if Sue's still here. What were we up to? There's not much else going on the charts. Yeah, there's not much going on, guys. I mean, there are some setups that we're waiting for: Euro JPY, Euro USD, and AUD CAD. And there's a lot of open setups, which is kind of most important. But in terms of new setups for you guys, there's not a whole lot. It's mostly just the open setups that have already triggered, and just a few upcoming setups. I'll just take another quick look. One thing I might have missed, see this kind of formation here on Euro New Zealand? Where you have those tightly packed candles. Again, if you drop down to like the 4 hour or perhaps the 1 hour, this could be a range. In this case, it's kind of a range, but it could be actually. It's at the bottom of the range right now. What I want to see on this is for price to stall and push up. So yeah, this is a potential, but it's a long way off. We need price to stall here, push up to the top of the range, then I will trade a short from the bottom. It's not a fully complete range yet, so I'm not comfortable trading a long from the bottom of this potential range. So it's a bit of a long way off, but something to keep an eye on. Yeah, that is about it, guys, for right now. I haven't actually covered the US oil position in a while. I'm going to get my numbers back up on here, and then I'll cover this in tomorrow's analysis. Sorry, I just haven't, because it's such a long-term trade, I haven't been keeping as close an eye on it as I should have, and I haven't been keeping you guys informed. Uh, I'll cover this one in tomorrow's analysis. I'll just get my numbers back up there. With the house move, I kind of like forgot to keep covering that one. But yeah, that's it for today's analysis, guys. So, just a quick wrap up on things to check out. Euro JPY, wait for a push up to resistance. Euro USD, wait for a push up to resistance. AUD CAD, it's already hitting resistance, so we just want to see price stalling on resistance. And Euro New Zealand, this one's a bit of a long way off, but we just want to see on like the 4 hour chart, price pushing up to the top here for a short trade. So most of today's trades are trade setups or potentials. A fair way off from completion, but it is the start of the week, so that's fine. By the end of the week, we should have more potential setups, and we should have these ones triggered, hopefully. For currently open trades, I covered them at the start. There's no reason really to go over them again. So yeah, are there any questions, guys? So I've already covered that. I was actually mentioning you when I covered that. I'll reply directly to your email after this webinar. I don't want to go over it again because we went over it in a bit of depth already. And it's kind of annoying for everyone else to go over the same thing twice. That's because I'm on the 4-hour chart. There's the daily chart. No, GBP/USD is an already triggered trade. Yeah, if you don't hear any sound, just refresh your browser. If you're seeing video but no sound, just refresh your browser. You could still technically enter GBP/USD now. It would be a bit of a late entry, but you could technically enter now if you wanted to. It wouldn't be as good a setup, but yeah. If you wanted to enter right now, it's still kind of viable. I'd tighten that stop loss a little bit. I wouldn't want to, but I'd have to. It's viable. You could enter now. There is some risk to this GBP/USD position, just in that we're not sure if this massive loss of strength of the pound is going to continue. So there is some risk to it. We don't know if the pound is ready to recover, but there's risk to any trade. But yeah, I think that wraps it up for the analysis, guys. It doesn't look like there's any questions. Sue, sorry about the sound issue, but I'll respond to your email with a bit of a detailed breakdown on GBP/USD. Sharon, entry out right now. I mean, literally, you're already entering late, so you would enter ASAP if you really wanted to enter. The entry should have been down here at like the 128.69 or so. So since you're entering already like 20 pips late, you want to enter right now before it gets any further away from you. Or alternatively, you could place your entry out where the original entry is 128. Let's just call it 128.70 and wait for it to fall back down, hopefully, if it even does. But ideally, this trade would have been entered yesterday. Would have been entered yesterday on a retrace. So honestly, the ideal entry for this trade would have probably been down here after it retraced. That would have been the entry. So you'd already be up quite a bit. So you're getting in quite late if you really want to enter now. I personally wouldn't do it. I don't like entering this late. So my personal opinion is it's too late to enter. But if you really want to, it's still technically viable. You still have like a good enough risk to reward ratio if you tighten that stop loss to make it a viable trade. It's just not the best. Chasing trades that you've missed is a pretty bad habit to be in. I honestly wouldn't recommend it, but in some cases, like this GBP/USD one, where the numbers are still kind of good, it's sort of okay to do it. All right, so I'm going to wrap this one up, guys. Thank you very much for attending. I'll see you for tomorrow's analysis, but I'll see you before then on the forum. So thank you very much, and and bye.